Hello and welcome to this Last Ninja Collection guide video. Take you through how to play some of the games and what the games are and things like that. So this has just recently been given out to the backers on Kickstarter, and this guide will hopefully be useful if you're playing it on Steam or whatever else later. So I'm using the Xbox controller wired up. There's nothing unusual here, it's just you can use the D-pad or you can use the left stick and A as your action button for the most part. So we'll go for Ninja 1 on C64. As you can see, I'm wearing the Last Ninja t-shirt. This is merch from their actual webpage. This is also a Loot Cash cap, not from the System 3 webpage, it's from the Loot Cash webpage, which I got recently, so let's get started. So the left stick, as you can see, you push diagonally, so whatever way the ninja is facing, you push that direction, and that's hence forward, right? So forward is actually diagonal. So if you're one of those people that are thinking, well, I should move left of the screen, then pushing left is actually going to drift them left more. So notice when you push diagonally in the direction he's facing, as opposed to pushing left, he gets dragged to the left, and if he's facing that way, then up. So you can think of where he's facing, he's got like 3 deviations to that. Directly in front of him, left bound and right bound, and that's kind of the way it works, and obviously the opposite direction from what he's facing is backwards. And you basically flick the other direction and you make your way from each, what we'd call it, northeast, southwest. So flicking to the top left, top right, and bottom left. Give you those cardinal directions. Let me just turn this music down a bit, otherwise we're going to get a lot of noise, and I'll just turn that down for myself as well. Right, so when people play the game, they think, like, why isn't he facing the way that I'm pushing? That's a modern way of thinking about games. You know, the characters would tend to turn the way you're moving. But in Last Ninja, it has always been that the opposite way from what you're facing makes him moonwalk backwards, which is kind of cool. Not a lot of games did that. Right, and now as you're pushing and you press the A button, he'll jump. As you're going backwards and you press the A button, he'll kind of do this kind of parry. It counts as a duck when you're in combat, but it also counts as your pickup move. So all you need to do is kind of like pretend you're walking backwards and press that A button, and that's your pickup. Right, so it works on any basic diagonal, apart from up obviously is punch, down's kick. So any diagonal that you push with A held down basically does the pickup. If you hold down A and push down, it's a kick. If you push up, it's a punch. Now if you push left and right, that's also punches. Now I like to use left and right when combating because it's faster than flicking up. You see when I flick up, it's a bit slow. You have to get the timing just right for it to be fast, whereas left right kind of imitates that kind of fast punch. So I like to, when I'm combating, is hold down A and do left right, and then sometimes a kick. Right, and that kind of is my way to go. Sometimes I just go in with full on kicks. So as you're running, let's go to that pointer there. As you're running, and you flick A, or running, walking, whatever you want to call it, as you're moving, you flick A, that's your jump. So in Last Ninja 1, the best way to go to get the sword is down right. It's a kind of loop. The first area is kind of a loop. You'll see that there's a river there. It actually loops round itself, but the way that it's depicted here with these kind of like chosen camera angles, you don't actually kind of recognise that as a loop, but it essentially is a loop. So I'm just going to use my left right here and the occasional kick, and you'll see he'll go down fairly quickly. It's not a speed run, this is more of a guide, right? Speed runs don't teach you anything, and watching someone just play through the game doesn't really teach you how to play the game. So just remember, you have to kind of roll round each direction if you want him to face forward, you have to go through north, east, south, west directions. If you just go the opposite direction, he'll moonwalk backwards. Feel free to walk that way if you want. Right, so here, the best place to stand is just, if you just notice, like, he's just kind of on that black part of the rock, and then just, if you see where the hands go, he's just below that white mark, so just adjust them, and that's it. Now, in the Last Ninja Collection, to swap your weapon, it's actually the B button on a Xbox controller, so we could say the rightmost button, and then the controls are the same. You hold down A, left, right, up and down is always kick. To the right is the long stab, so you can get a good range from that. You can see that goes quite far. Left is when they're pretty close, but not too close, and up is a fast jab. You can see this is the quickest one. It is the quickest one, but the other ones I think they are more powerful. So one's got reach, one's a bit more powerful but it's slow, and the other one's not as powerful but it's fast. Alright, so there's no point going to the bottom left. That takes you to the river that you would have to jump, which takes you around a loop. It's kind of a shortcut. You want to make your way up here because there's, well, you can get a bit of combat practice in. Now, the Last Ninja Collection, if you hold, press the select, you can actually save and save your game. There's only one save state, and you know, just be careful you don't save it if you're halfway gone through death or something, because you'll just respawn at that dying state. It's saving everything exactly as it is. It's a state, right? It's the whole thing is in a the program's in a sort of position that it's saving it. Right, and that's just how the emulators work. So here we've got someone here who's going to come fast at me. So certain enemies that come fast at you, so you can be ready for them. And I just hold down the A and then just get that first long stab in there. And if they're too close, kicks are really effective. You'll see that jabs and things are hard to get in sometimes when they're very close, but kicks and jabs, so that's the firing down and firing up, they're your best friend. If you're really struggling, put the weapon away and just hit them with normal combat. In Last Ninja 1, the enemies die once, generally speaking. I don't think they come back to life. I think it's just the dungeons that happens. This guy, if you run past him, he will commit an act of honour, shall we say, and he'll take his own life. Sad. Right, so I think there might be other things to collect. I can't remember completely, but I just want to show you where the other side of the river is. Yeah, there is things to collect. You need this bag. You need it to pick everything up. It's essentially what you need. So if you're really stuck on how, like, why you can't pick things up, it's because of that. Especially if you leave this level without picking up that bag. You can pick up weapons fine. It's items that are the problem. And the thing with this level, the only items that you really pick up is the bag and the key. And if you don't have the key, then you're kind of stuffed for a later level. Here, if you put the weapon away, you can, you know, bow at the Buddha, you meditate, and it, you know, it gives you an image in your mind of nunchakas, if you like, right? So we know there's still stuff to collect in this level, so you can spend a bit of time before you go up to the mud jumps to figure out what you need to collect. So let's just position yourself here. Remember, you want to position yourself so your hands land roughly where the object is when you push, you press A and push a diagonal. Right. Right. You might struggle to do that, to get diagonals. The D-pad sometimes helps. It depends, you know, if you played it on the Commodore, but just practice getting those diagonals in, and you only need to worry about them for picking an item up. So here we go. You've seen a little flash with this guy, and we can get the nunchakas there. I really like nunchakas. I just like the way they look. You know, the right. So we can carry on. I don't know if there's anything else to collect, but I just want to take out all the guys. See, the nunchakas has got a good reach as well. I really like the way it gets thrown into his guts there. I'm not really doing too great there. I'm taking some wounds. Right, but I'm just going to save it at this point. The great thing about Last Ninja Collection is you can save it quite frequently and continue where you left off. I'm not going to get my health back in any way. See, he's quite fast, he's got nunchakas as well. It does help if they've got the same weapon, because they will position themselves a bit more conveniently for that weapon. I think you get 3 lives, so I'm on my second, 2 more deaths basically, if you want to count it that way. There's an apple to collect as well. When you collect there we go, so there's the other side of the river. There's no point me going across here, because that's the river you saw at the front, that's that loop I'm talking about. Right, so that's all you have to do there. What was I talking about there? The nunchakas. Oh yeah, like the enemies will position themselves more conveniently for the attack range of that weapon, which means if you match the weapon, it's better. Generally speaking, you don't have to, but right, now that we've got the nunchakas, I'm going to put the weapon away to see what the Buddha says. He says get the smoke bomb next, so we've basically got everything we need here. Excuse me, got a bit of a congestion thing. I'm just going to match his sword there. He's not got many in, going to get a kick in there. There we go. Sometimes if he's positioned himself off to the side of you there, your weapons don't, certain moves of the weapons don't hit him. Sometimes it's the firing down can get him, but usually a kick will reach him. Considering the age of this game, it still plays really well, I think, you know, for considering it was a game from 1987. I think it's a masterpiece for that time. Shame that it's not always seen that way now, because a lot of things have happened. But I like that a lot of people still see it that way, as definitely was groundbreaking. I'd like to think. I mean, look at just how pretty the graphics are. There's nothing else like that then. Anyway, enough about shining this game on. We get an apple to collect here. Of course, the backgrounds were completely bitmap based, so it's a bitmap that's built from bits of bitmap and following all the restrictions and rules and stuff. So it's kind of like a tile set the way you would build a platformer game, but instead it's a little bit of scenery, and you know, it's just outside the normal realms of thinking when you think about it. It's a nice little solution that's been made by the Hungarians when it was passed over to them. So you see, I managed to take him out without him touching me, because he is a slow enemy. He didn't have a weapon either. Right, there's an apple here to collect. Another thing is that if you don't have the sack, I'm pretty sure you can't collect this apple. Okay, so as I was saying, you just need to make sure that you have the bag in order to collect items, otherwise you'll find that you can't actually pick them up. So we're not going to test that. That's pretty much done once you've got the bag. Here's a shuriken, so you just need to be positioned so that the hands will touch it. You would think in logical terms, to pick up the shuriken you would have to be here, and you would pick up and bend all the way down, but the sprites don't allow for that, so wherever it is where your hands will land, right, that's the general rule. Okay, he's gonna move, I think, pretty quickly. What I could do is demonstrate the shuriken at some point. Okay, he's just easy enough to kill with a sword. So this guy, he's got a staff, right? So I'm just going to switch to the shuriken. And with the shuriken, you want to just hold down A and then push to the right. And the shuriken is going to go directly in front of you. There is a bit of leeway where it hits the enemy. So just try and get it so that he's in front of you, like now, you know, and not too close. Right, and we're at the dragon. So I'll save it here, just because it's a good place to save it. and switch to the smoke bombs. Let's just test that. Yep. So you can see his foot is just below where the gradient of the rock sort of changes. Right, and just walk past. And so if you ever get to this level, one time I played the game and I never picked up the sack and never bothered about the apple or the shurikens, and just made I was trying to do a speed run, and I realised I couldn't even pick up the claw. So yeah, that happens. So yeah, I just like to combat all the enemies. I like to fight with honour. You can't do it with everything, but yeah, it does help. I'm just going to do the long one here and get a small one in. Let's see, he got hit in there. Now if you can play this game without ever getting hit, that's an achievement. I'm just going to jab with the sword. See, that staff is quite lethal. I went good balls with the smoke bombs this time. I can save them for a different level. Right, so put your weapons away here and change to the claw, and you just walk up to the wall. It automatically climbs. Sword. Right. See, the jab and the kick are quite effective, and if they're close, use that. Well, don't try and somersault over them. Just try and get around them like that. Right. So yeah, they hold down the A button and push left is a good one. And if you're not very good at your jumps, bear in mind there's three kinds of jumps. There's directly the way you're going, there's a bit to the right, so as you're moving you have to sort of flick it just a little bit to the right, as if you're walking and then you push to the right. And that, in his case it's kind of like he's veering to his left, right, but you're pushing him more right, and you can see down. So that's literally how your jumps work as well. There'll be like 3 different types of jumps, so just go for it. It's like cringe. Move this pointer again. I'm just going my swords all the way here. If you want to duck like that, he can't hit you. I think he might be able to kick you, or yeah, sometimes he gets in and gets you. Sometimes it's not a perfect defense mechanism. See, there's the apple there. Collect a couple of lives. It's going to be useful. And this is our rock that we the rock wall, rock face, what do you want to call it? The wall we need to climb down. Now if you climb down round about here, look directly below him. You see there's a kind of loose rock, right? Whatever it is, or missing rock. Yeah, that'll actually make him fall and he'll die. So switch to, take all your weapons off. If you're playing Last Ninja Collection, obviously save it here. If you're playing it on a Commodore, you know, just do it right. So go all the way to the right. Just make your way back, and then he'll just climb down. He avoids that rock. Right, and I'll save it here. Yep. Oops, keep pressing the same thing. I think you can press start again to come out of it. I keep pressing B to go back for some reason, expecting it to take me into the game. But right, so once you're here, you have to go top right because we have to go and get the glove. River. Right, now I have already covered rivers in a different video, but it's good to save it here. Right, and in river scenes you'll notice that the weapon, you don't really do combat anymore. Like if you're holding a weapon and you hold down A and push right and left and stuff, it's not doing combat moves. It knows it's in a river scene, right? So just put your weapons away, right? For the sake of it just not confusing your eyes, right? He's in basically a jump mode, right? In a river scene, he just wants to jump. So don't let that fool you. He's not. If you push fire and right, he's not going to do some sort of attack, right? He's going to do a different kind of jump. Now look at the manual, right? If you look at the actual instructions, there is a bit that tells you about the jump ranges. Let's just see. I don't think it's actually here. It does tell you to get used to jumps. Gameplay, yeah. I think there would have to be a bit of detail in that. But keep it pressed, push to the left, push to some. This is it. There's certain hazards that require somersault in order to overcome them. For example, jumping from one log to another. When this is a situation, do not move. Press the fire button, and whilst keeping it pressed, push left analog stick or D-pad in the direction you wish to somersault. Now get used to that. Hold down the A and push up, right? And take a note of where he lands. Then hold down A and push right. You see how far right was, and then hold down A and push diagonal. Right, diagonal and up are pretty similar, but up will go further, right? So you can kind of estimate where you're going to land, but how you're going to get across this river, right? So I'm just going to try to the right, okay, and try diagonal. Right, diagonal's kind of like a good one. We'll go there, right, and then flicking it. Yeah, so it gets tricky. So that is why you want to save quite a lot there. So you're just going to quit out. What's happened here? It's just lost focus. Quit out the game. It just thinks it's on the mouse. Game. Right. Sometimes this game just loses focus on PC, but just use the mouse to click. So diagonal, diagonal, and now I'm going to do up because I know up is a long jump. So it's all about just remembering that distance, and being able to push diagonal on a D-pad is pretty easy. It's just, you know, the two together. I wouldn't use the stick. I'd always use a D-pad. Just get your thumb over the up and the right. Save it. You know, you don't want to do that again, so save it. I don't know why the controls stopped working. I think because the mouse pointer's on a different screen, but start. If you can time those stabs, they're quite good to get the enemy down pretty quick. They're quite powerful moves. Don't get the magic just yet, because there's a time limit to it, and there's some things to collect in about here. I'll take you through the different areas. I'm just going to let them die, just because I just want full health again. Right. Certain enemies move certain ways, and you know, the jab sometimes is just the most effective. I'm going to pick up the glove. I need the glove for picking up the thorny rose, a poison rose later. There's nothing really here. You can go and have a look just to admire the scenery, but there's nothing really in this area. It's a bit of a dead end here, and yep, there's a gang of Nunchakas here, so I'm going to switch to Nunchakas, come out the scene and do your weapon change, and throw a few of these at him. So just a few up, down, left, rights, and if he's hot, you just go back out and come back in. I think this one's also got a bit of a weird, yeah, so it takes you back to there, right? So I went down there, and it's there, took me back round, so it's one of these weird, it's a maze, right? I don't know, it's kind of like twisted round itself, but that's me covered all the ways you can go there, right? One's a dead end, and one takes you back round to the top, so you could go that way if you wanted. It would take you back up to this point, so instead of coming down here, you could come straight up, it would take you back up this way. Right, so now we're going to collect the magic. I'm just going to take the weapons and stuff off just so I don't get confused. And I'll save it there. I don't know what's going on with this. Right, so I'm saved. It doesn't want to use the control pad anymore. So I don't know what I did, but it's lost some focus. And the pointer's in the way. Don't know if you actually see the pointer. You probably do. Right. Trickiest bit of the whole game I find is this. So again, you can save it. Oh, I'm not doing this. Okay, zoom. So I'm going to do fire and down. Yeah, that's what I remember. Fire and down again. And then just make your way up when you're on the edge, right? So don't try and move. You actually landed on the grass at the edge. That's the easiest way to do that jump. You just need to get that first position right, and just practice. You know, you can practice more with the Last Ninja Collection. You know, you couldn't save it on a Commodore. That is why a lot of people gave up. That was a diagonal right there. That was the first one was a fire and up, so A and up, and then A and up right, and then I think I just go here and A and up. Move to the edge, A and up, right? Just it becomes muscle memory after a while, just doing it. I'm going to switch to chatas. They're quite effective. Yeah, so he says, and then none of them hit. A lot of people use their shurikens here because you do pick up more shurikens later. I'm actually going to switch to shuriken. Just come straight in and just throw it. Nope, didn't work. So come in and then, yeah, I'm just wasting shurikens here. I'm gonna load again. Helps me talk about this bit. So you see where I am. I'm just at the edge there. Fire and down. Fire and down again. It takes me all the way to the edge and move up. Right. So that helps me just discuss that bit again. Shurikens aren't really effective with that guy because of the angle he's at. You can't really get in the scene quick enough. Right, so this one, let's go to here, fire up. Again, he's still in that jump mode, so fire and diagonal right. Go to the end here, fire and up. Move to the edge, fire and up. You might be able to just jump straight off that, forget, but I'm just going to do that for effectiveness. I'm just going to kill him without weapons. So should be okay to do it without any weapons. Right, because he's fast, he gets too close, he can't change weapons in time, it's awkward. Right, now these guys I'm going to switch to shuriken. I don't know what way this actually takes you, I've never went this way. Dead end guy there, pointless. Right, so don't fight everyone, just go where you need to go. Shuriken him. You can also make use of those smoke bombs. Now he's a bit slow, you might be able to kind of get around him. There we go. You might throw something at me, yeah, just watch for that. Get the staff, so right to the end and then just do the pickup action, just right into that corner. Spent ages in that sometimes, just trying to get, and then just walk through the dragons. There's the one that tries to flame you and you're good. So that's you on to the Palace Gardens.